There is a possibility that Caryn Chandler is a contributing factor in the departure of Zach and Tori Roloff from Little People, Big World. Caryn Chandler's ego is spiraling out of control. The Roloff family patriarch, Matt Roloff, is engaged to Caryn, who is also the family's fiancé. In the beginning of the reality show, he was married to Amy Roloff. However, they ultimately divorced because Amy believed that Matt was having an affair with Caryn. Particularly noteworthy is the fact that she worked at Roloff Farms for a considerable amount of time, handling the pumpkin patch before becoming Matt's assistant. Amy and Matt's divorce wreaked havoc on the family, altering the trajectory of their lives as well as the narrative of the show for all time. Since the breakup between Matt and Amy, Caryn has had a more significant presence on the show Little People, Big World. In spite of opposition, she is always there to support her partner in every circumstance. Caryn has successfully negotiated her relationship with Amy during the course of the program, which has at times been challenging to watch. In the show Little People, Big World, she and Matt have shown a lack of compassion toward Amy and the other members of the Roloff family. Since they started dating, Caryn has been a significant factor in Matt's decision-making. In spite of the fact that they had some disagreements, they decided to get engaged on the program and are now making plans to spend the rest of their lives together. There is a possibility that Caryn played a role in Matt's decision to list a portion of the property. During the year 1990, he purchased the farm, and it was always anticipated that his oldest kid, Zach, would take over the management of the farm when the time came. In every aspect of his life, Zach had been anticipating the day when he would be able to assume the burden. However, Matt's entire family was taken aback when he posted 16 acres of land for sale without informing anyone else in advance. The choice that Matt made caused Zach to feel upset, and ever since then their connection has been strained. Nevertheless, it is possible that his girlfriend Caryn was the one who presented the idea of selling the farms. The enormous responsibility of administering the Roloff farms was one that Caryn stated she did not want to take on herself. As someone who once managed the pumpkin patch, she is aware of the fact that the farm is quite demanding. The fact that she was hesitant to take on the work was ingrained in Matt's consciousness, regardless of whether or not she encouraged him to sell the farm. Rather of considering the welfare of the other members of the Roloff family, Caryn made the decision to prioritize her own interests and watch out for what would be most beneficial to her. Caryn is a contributor to Matt's inflated sense of self-importance, which is out of control. It was during the 25th season of Little People, Big World that they began the construction of a new house. Caryn most certainly was aware that they would get a significant amount of money with the sale of a portion of the land. For the purpose of financing the construction of the house, they would be able to bring in a significant profit. In addition to the wealth that Matt has amassed via his participation in reality television, the sale of property brings in an even larger sum of money. The reason that Caryn told Matt that she did not want to take over the Roloff farms was because she was motivated by her own self-interest. During the course of her relationship with Matt, Caryn has reaped financial benefits. In addition to being a well-known reality figure, he has appeared in all 25 seasons of the animated series Little People, Big World. Caryn witnessed Matt's development of the program as a source of revenue while she was working for him. Matt had already garnered financial success from the show. Perhaps she had been looking for him from the very beginning in order to get his money. Before she fell in love with Matt, Caryn was in the process of dissolving her marriage, which had lasted for almost 20 years. Immediately following the conclusion of his marriage to Amy, Matt's children found it peculiar that he was seeing one of his employees. Prior to the moment when they made their relationship official, Caryn was not only an employee, rather, she was Matt's assistant. Perhaps she has information about his current financial situation. There's a possibility that Caryn is using Matt to get the better things in life. When Caryn moved into a new house, it was one of the things that raised red lights in their relationship. There was a significant lack of accessibility in the house for Matt. There were 2 floors in the house, and the principal bedroom was located at the top of the stairs. It was because Matt did not want to risk being wounded that he decided to sleep below, while Caryn slept upstairs. Matt did not attempt to climb the stairs. This resulted in them sleeping in different rooms, which is one of the worst things that can happen to a relationship. In the 25th season of Little People, Big World, Matt started the process of constructing a new house. Caryn emphasized the idea that although she was cohabitating in Matt's house, she was actually living there. In spite of this, she had certain requirements about the manner in which she desired to design various aspects of the property. It is possible for Caryn to have everything she desires from Matt, even a luxurious new home. There is a possibility that Caryn is looking to gain some influence in her relationship with Matt. During her time working for him, she was able to see Matt's meteoric rise to fame, which coincided with the release of the film Little People, Big World. Caryn most likely became aware of the reality star's challenges in his marriage and desired to be there for him when he began experiencing difficulties in his relationship. Caryn was promised a degree of popularity related to reality television that she had never previously experienced if she were to enter into a relationship with the star of Little People, Big World. She has been heavily active in his stories on the program ever since they started dating at the beginning of their relationship. It is her habit to flaunt their connection on many social media platforms. Little People, Big World is promoted through Caryn's Instagram account, where she often publishes images of herself with Matt. Caryn shared a photo of herself with Matt on one of her social media accounts, complete with the message, "Are you ready? A whole new season will start on March 31st. You won't want to miss it." She was so enthusiastic about the next season that she even encouraged viewers to tune in to watch it. Following Amy's revelation that they could have been having an affair, Caryn had to have known that their connection would become the subject of debate. By spending time with Matt, she was aware that she would be able to gain influence. Since Matt began his connection with Caryn, he has been engaged in a conflict with his children from the beginning. The decision to list the farms was made by Matt, and Zach and Tori made the decision to relocate to Battleground, Washington, so that they could concentrate on their children. Matt has maintained his bond with his grandchildren by maintaining contact with Zach and Tori even when they relocated to a new location. The relationship between him and his kid, on the other hand, has not been the finest. After they announced their engagement in the 25th season of Little People, Big World, Zach did not respond to the news of their engagement. As a matter of fact, he declined to discuss their involvement with the producers at a moment of confession. "The engagement of my father is something I don't want to discuss, even if I don't have a lot of negative sentiments about it." A producer asked him what he felt about the news of their engagement, and he responded by saying, "I don't want to talk about it." After the question, the star of Little People, Big World appeared to be in a state of obvious discomfort, and his demeanor in the interview reflected this discomfort. The response that Zach had when he was questioned about Matt and Caryn's engagement was emotional and painful. He had a difficult time accepting their connection in the first place. It was difficult for him to accept it. Zach has reached the point in his life where he no longer needs negative energy, and he is now ready to concentrate on his wife and his family. Over the course of her appearance in Little People, Big World, Caryn's ego has become completely out of control. Before she started dating Matt, she needed to be aware of the amount of attention that would be given to his divorce from Amy and their new relationship. Throughout the years, she has been a significant factor in his decision-making, which has resulted in the deterioration of his ties with his grandchildren. For Tori Roloff, the year 2025 has been a time of grieving because she just disclosed a heartbreaking loss. This is in contrast to the sentiments of many others who are looking forward to the new year with a sense of optimism and promise. The question is, what did the mother of three have to say about it? Tori Roloff experienced a profound sense of melancholy throughout the Christmas season, despite the fact that it is often a time of festivity, during which people spend time with their relatives. She informed her followers that her grandmother was not in good health and that she was concerned about her. As a result, Tori was coping with the very real prospect that she might soon lose her grandma, even as she did her best to rejoice with her children and to get into the holiday spirit for them. It was a difficult situation for her. The holidays were naturally painted with a brush that was bittersweet as a result of this. Her grandma ended up passing away right before Christmas, according to the most recent social media updates that Tori Roloff gave. Losing a loved one is never easy, but it is especially challenging to do so during the holiday season. This is because the death of a loved one will serve as a constant reminder during a time that is normally filled with joy and celebration. Although Tori Roloff is in a state of grieving at the loss of Little People Big World, she felt it necessary to share some thoughts with you as she works through her grief. During the time leading up to Christmas, this world was deprived of one of my most beloved individuals, as said by Tori. This is my grandmother, my Marmee. Being in Marmee's presence was like being in the presence of love, compassion, and tenderness. She was one of the most wonderful persons I have ever had the pleasure of knowing, and I pray that I can possess even a fraction of her kindness and tolerance for other people. Both in terms of her time and her financial resources, she was always so kind that she never said no to anyone. Tori Roloff wrote to her many followers on social media, "We were so blessed to have her so close the last 5 years, and I am so grateful for that time with her." She was speaking more about the passing of her grandma to her fans. "It is the greatest gift that I could have ever received or that my children could have received from her, because she took the time to get to know them by getting to know them. The fact that I had such a wonderful grandmother is something that I give thanks to God for every day, and I am confident that she is now with him, looking down on all of us. Dear Marmee, I adore you so very much." Fans of Little People Big World expressed their sympathies, with one individual leaving a message that said, "I am so sorry for your loss, sending love and prayers." Another person added their thoughts, saying, "I am so sorry for the loss that you and your family have suffered. Prayers of consolation and support for you. During this time of mourning for the passing of your beloved Marmee, may God have his loving arms around you. During the time that she was still on this world, may you cherish the memories that you created with her.